Assalamualaikum and good afternoon to Madam Omaima and my fellow classmates. So we are from Group 1. We'll explain the deposit products that are available in the Maybank Islamic Berhad and Bank Islam Berhad. So before I start, let me introduce our team members first. There is Amar, Fatiha, Kirtini, Lingesh and me myself Shima. So let's get started. So first, I will explain the background of Maybank Islamic Berhad. So Maybank Islamic Berhad is the financial arm of Maybank Group, which is the largest Islamic bank in ASEAN with total assets exceeding 91 billion while dominating market shares in almost all key segments. Also, Maybank Islamic is a recognized industry icon. It is still leading in the industry by developing new, innovative, and competitive solutions. Maybank Islamic takes advantage of the group system and IT infrastructure as well its distribution network to provide end-to-end Sharia-based financial solutions. Also, Maybank Islamic is also in the forefront of the humanizing financial services and the sector. Maybank Islamic Berhad also tries to actively contribute to the communities which it coexists in the accordance with its moral standards. Also, Maybank Islamic strives to be an example of ethical company through its financial inclusion, community services, and corporate responsibility. Alright, move on to the next slide. I will explain the deposit product that available in the Maybank Islamic Berhad. So the first deposit product that available is savings account I. So this is a Sharia compliant savings which is known as savings based on the contract of card or loan. So card account is actually a principal guaranteed deposit account, either current or savings. It is still utilizing the underlying Sharia concept of card. So what is the benefit from opening this savings account I? So actually the depositors will get various account management options like over the counter at any Maybank branch, maybank2u.com, ATM and debit card services or M2U mobile and Kawanku phone banking. And also the depositors or the customers can use a cashless shopping with Maybank card debit while earning points or cashback from their purchasing. So most importantly, it is also protected by PIDM up to 250,000 ringgit for each depositors. So how to open this savings account I? So actually the bank retains the right to set and change the minimum amount of the initial deposit needed to open the account at any time. And so to open this savings account I, the minimum deposit amount is 250 ringgit and there is no maximum deposit limit. And also the individuals over the age of 18 are entitled to open this account either individually or jointly. And also individuals and non-individuals are both eligible to apply. And for individuals, it applies to both residents and foreigners. Okay, next is the current account I. So about this product, it is actually an Islamic current account under the Sharia concept of card or loan. As I said just now, card account is actually a principal guaranteed deposit account. Either it is current or savings, it is still utilizing the underlying Sharia concept of card. So what is the benefit from opening this current account I by Maybank Islamic Berhad? So the first is there is unlimited withdrawals at the home branch, outstation withdrawals up to 10,000 ringgit for personal account holders, and most importantly, it is protected by PIDM up to 250,000 for each depositor. So how to open this current account I? So it is actually available to open by individuals, companies, clubs, age 18 and above only with an introducer. So the joint account is up to 4 people, and the minimum deposit amount is 1,000 ringgit. So how is the procedure to open this account is that the depositors should visit a Maybank branch nearby with their primary documents and joint applicants if there is any. So for Malaysians, there is compulsory to provide the primary documents like my card, police or army forces ID card, birth certificate, and also supporting documents like valid driving license, utility bills, rent, assessment notice, with name and address, and also the letter of employment. And for non-residents or foreigners, it is compulsory to provide their valid passport. The third deposit product that available in the Maybank Islamic Berhad is Prosperous Now Account-i. So this is actually a fixed deposit account applying tawarruk contract whereby the security deposit or hamish jidiyah will be credited into an account upon fund placement. So upon the maturity of the deposit, the bank will pay the principal amount as the profit will be offset by the security deposit that was paid upfront. So this fixed deposit or Prosperous Now Account-i has a higher profit rate, which is 1.75% per annum, which is higher than the normal Islamic saving account where the depositors have their choices of tenure from 1 month up to 12 months. So what is the benefit from opening this Prosperous Now Account-i or fixed deposit account? So there is a free personal accident takaful coverage plus medical and funeral expenses if there is accident happen to the depositors, and also the acceptance as collateral for banking facilities is also available in this fixed deposit account, and also it is protected by PIDM up to 250,000 ringgit for each depositors. So how to opening this Prosperous Now Account-i? So it is available for the individuals age 18 and above only to the joint account holders with a maximum of 4 people. So not only that, this is also available for the business enterprise, clubs, organizations, trustees, foreigners, professionals, government and corporate funds. And the minimum deposit amount is 10,000 ringgit. And how the procedure to open this account is that the depositor should visit a Maybank or Maybank Islamic branch nearby with primary documents. So the required documents are the valid my card for Malaysians, but for the foreigners, it is required to provide the valid passport and the other documentary evidence to of the purpose of staying or visit in Malaysia. So that's all from me. I will pass to Amar to explain the another 3 deposit products.
All right, thank you so much, Shiva. And now let's move on to the next deposit product of Maybank Islamic, which is the corporate commodity Murabahah deposit. Now, what do we know about this product? So this product is essentially an Islamic money market deposit that is based on Sharia contract of Murabahah via commodity Murabahah agreement. So Murabahah is a contract of sale and purchase of an asset where the acquisition costs and the markup are disclosed to the customer. So over here in this situation, bank will act as an agent for the customer. So the bank will utilize all the depositors' money to make purchase for commodity. So from there, banks will make profit, and from that profit, they will be given some of the portion to the depositors based on the agreement that they both made initially. Now let's move on to the benefits. So what do the depositors get out of from this product? So first is the higher profit rate than the normal savings account. So all of you know that savings account has a profit rate, but it is very, very low. So in terms of Murabahah deposit, you will get a higher profit rate because of the commodity purchases that the banks made and then they make profit out of it. So in terms of the agreement that they make initially, that is when they will get a higher profit rate, which is very good. Then next is also have a multi-currency. So over here, it gets a broader and wider market to deal with. So the bank could deal with a lot and more vast market, so they can get a lot of profit. So from here, the customer will get benefits from it. So next, another benefit is they have a short tenure, which is the minimum of 1 day. And lastly, PIDM will give protection for the depositors up to 250,000 ringgit. And now, let's talk about opening an account. What do depositors need to consider? So first, for those pursuing for the Malaysian ringgit placement, the minimum tenure is 1 day and the maximum tenure is for 1 year. However, if they're pursuing for the foreign currency placement, the minimum tenure is 1 day and the maximum tenure is 3 years. So the next is the minimum deposit amount. So the depositors must make an initial deposit amount, which is amount to 50,000 ringgit. And next, there are no maximum deposit. So who are eligible to apply for this type of product? So first is individuals over age of 18 are entitled to open this account. They can be either individually or jointly. To add on that, corporates too are eligible to apply for this type of product. And then for individuals, it applies to both residents and foreigners. All right, moving on to the next product, which is the Master Foreign Currency Account-i. Now, this product, IMFCAI, is based on the Sharia contract of Qard, which is known as loan. It is essentially a contract of lending money by a lender to a borrower where the borrower is bound to repay an equivalent amount to the lender. Now, this concept is similar to the previous product, where the bank needs to make sure that there is a sufficient amount of money in the depositor's account after they have utilized depositor's money for their own good. Now, the only difference that this product makes is they only focus on the foreign currency. Now, what are the benefits of this type of product? First is they are protected by PIDM up to 250,000 ringgit per deposit. The next is they have 10 major different currencies available for this product. Now, this would bring to the next benefit for this type of product, which is they could minimize the risk of currency fluctuation. Now, we all know that currency fluctuates because of the economic environment that is inconsistent. So when they have 10 different major currencies, it could give a lower risk to the depositors in case that the certain currency is not stable. So they can opt for a more stable currency. Okay. The next is the opening of account. So let's focus. Now, this focuses on the corporates. Now, first, the memorandum and article of association must be certified by the secretary of the company. The next, the certificate of incorporation must be presented on the original copy. The next, a list of directors and secretary together with their home addresses must be provided. The next is the resolution of the board of directors is to open and operate the account. And lastly, other relevant documents must be provided upon the request by the bank. All right, moving on to the final product of Maybank Islamic, which is the Basic Savings Account-i. So this particular product is based on Sharia contract of Qard, which is known as loan. It is a contract of lending money by a lender to a borrower, where the borrower is bound to repay an equivalent amount to the lender. Now, this concept and principle applies the same for the previous product, where the bank needs to ensure sufficient amount of money in the depositor's account after utilizing for their own good. Now, let's move on to the benefits. What do depositors get by applying for this type of product? So first, the bank may at its discretion pay hibah to the depositors. Now, the depositor will get a thank you gift from the bank because they lend their depositors deposits money to the bank to utilize for their own good. And the next is there is no service or maintenance charge as long as there is a minimum balance of 20 ringgit in the account. And lastly, the depositors will be protected by PIDM up to 250,000 ringgit. And now, let's talk about opening of the account. Who are eligible to apply for this type of account? Now, the account is eligible to be opened for Malaysians and permanent residents. And for this particular type of product, it is split into 3 different products, which is BSAI, BSAI Trust, and BSAI Minor. Now, each of these type of product has their own sets of requirements. So, for example, BSAI is for adult age of 18 and above. For BSAI Trust is for children that is 18 years below, with the guardians below 60 years old. And lastly, for the BSAI Minor is for the teenagers that be aged below 18 but above 12. Now, how do we apply? How do we open this account? So first, the depositors should visit a Maybank branch nearby with the primary documents. So for Malaysian, the documents that are required are the original MyQard police or armed force ID card, which is essentially an identification card, as well as a birth certificate. And then for the supporting documents, so they also need to provide a supporting document like the driving license, utility bills such as water, electricity, telephone bills, rent, and assessment notice with the name of address and the letter of employment. And then for the non-residents or foreigners, it is compulsory to provide a valid passport. So that will be all from me. I would like to pass the screen to Fatiha.
Thank you, Amma and Shima. So, moving on to Bank Islam Berhad. Firstly, the background of Bank Islam. So, as you guys can see, Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad was the first Sharia-compliant financial institution in Malaysia and Asia. And it has been at the forefront of the country Islamic banking industry development. Bank Islam now, they promote itself as a value-based intermediary, VBI. So Bank Islam is a major proponent of expanding along with the communities itself, governed by Sharia-based business principle. And this VBI is essential to its business strategy, which aim to produce long-term result with a strategic focus on supporting economic, social, and environmental growth. So next, Bank Islam is primarily a retail bank with product ranging from traditional financing and saving to different solution design to individual customer, as well as banking and financial solution designed to meet the rapidly changing financial need of customer across all categories, including investment account, wealth management, capital market, trade finance, and infrastructure financing. Okay, next. So here, deposit account of Bank Islam. Actually, there are 6 deposit account of Bank Islam. And firstly, term deposit I Tawarruk. So term deposit I Tawarruk and term deposit I Tawarruk Special, or we call it TDT or TDTS, refers to the bank product based on the Tawarruk Syariah principle. So deposit account refer to the amount placed by the customer into the TDT or TDTS, after which the bank will acquire the commodity from commodity provider. So based on the Sharia concept of tawarruk, the bank, they should accept the sum of money deposited and any sums to be put in the TDT or TDTS in the future. So a tawarruk is made up of 2 contracts, one for selling and one for purchase. Okay, the first involve a seller selling an asset to a buyer on a deferred basis. Following that, the first sale buyer will sell the similar asset to a third party on a cash and spot basis. Okay, opening an account. So the bank retains the right to set and change the minimum amount of initial deposit needed to open the account at any time. So the minimum deposit amount is 1,000 ringgit for 1 month and 500 ringgit for 2 months. So or more. and there is no maximum deposit limit. Any application to open this TDT or TDTS account must be submitted on the required form along with any additional paper needed by the bank. So individuals over the age of 18 are entitled to open this account either individually or jointly. So individuals or non-individual are both eligible to apply for the term deposit air tawarruk. For the individuals, it apply to both resident and non-resident, and for non-individual, it can apply for trustee, schools, university, society, religious bodies, partnership, companies, government, and others. All instruction given in accordance with the signing instruction stated in the account opening form and the signature card are authorized by the bank. If any instruction are unclear, the bank may opt not to act on any instruction until the issue is solved to the bank's satisfaction. Okay, then the customer, they must use the same signature style on all withdrawal instruction, checks or letters, and other document as they did on the account opening form. So by completing the account opening application form, the customer which is they agrees to appoint bank as a commodity purchasing and selling agent for the commodity purchase transaction or commodity murabahah transaction and manage the account opening process. Okay, so for the deposit transaction, okay, by opening a TDT or TDTS account and depositing funds into it, the bank agrees to purchase commodity from the customer under a murabahah contract with deferred payment. Okay, the customer appoints the bank to serve as his or her agent for the purchase and selling of the commodity under a Sharia contract known as wakalah. So here, the bank as a commodity purchasing and selling agent have certain power and authority to the for the term of the deposit and any future deposit placement, including any new deposit placement at a different term of deposit, such as like um, to perform and execute any action necessary for the customer to acquire the commodity at deposit amount on a cash basis, including like purchase agreement, certificate, and other document, and to negotiate with commodity supplier on customer behalf. And on behalf of the customer, they sell the commodity on delayed payment to the bank at deposit amount plus profit, which is sale price murabahah, and execute all related procedure commodity murabahah transaction. So here, the bank the prevailing profit rate under the commodity murabahah transaction will apply to the above mentioned granted to it as commodity purchasing and selling agent. So the bank will send to the customer, which is upon request, confirmation of transaction pertaining to the customer purchase and sale of the commodity, and confirming the purchase of the commodity from commodity supplier and the sale of the commodity to the bank. So to the next slide. Okay, the second deposit account for Bank Islam is foreign currency account I. So the term foreign currency account I, or we call it FCAI, refers to a product offered by Bank Islam that is based on the Qard Sharia contract. So in this case, the customer agrees to enter into a buy ourselves contract for any FCAI transaction involve the exchange of two distinction currency, such as like the exchange of US dollar for Malaysian ringgit. So the term buy al saf contract refers to a contract in which money is exchanged for money of the same. Okay, so to be eligible for this foreign currency account I, the customer must first make a minimum initial deposit of USD 1,000 equivalent. Okay, everyone above the age of 18 is eligible to enter. Resident and non-resident, resident and resident intermediaries can all use this sort of account. Okay, and for resident, it can be both individual or entity. It can also be a joint account in which a resident has a joint account with a resident, and a resident has a joint account with a non-resident, who is a member of his immediate family. And for non-resident, it can be individual and entity. It can also be joint account between non-resident and non-residents, as well as non-resident and resident, who are members of his immediate family. Okay. So the next one is what is available foreign currency denomination. So the major currencies are available for opening an account under FCAI are Arab Emirates Dirham, Australian dollar, euro, pound sterling, Japanese yen, Saudi rial, Singapore dollar, and US dollar. Okay, the opening of account for foreign currency account I. So the FCAI will be established in accordance with the relevant section of the notice on foreign exchange administration rules and direction published by Bank Negara Malaysia in accordance with the Islamic Financial Service Act IFSA 2013. Okay, the customer must also ensure that the converting of ringgit for deposit is in accordance with the existing requirement. A ringgit Malaysia based saving or current account is also required of the customer. Okay, and on a case by case basis, like an exception to the criteria mentioned could be allowed. And the FCAI can be opened in any of the currency that Bank Islam specified and determined from time to time. Okay, and all payment and transfer from or to other foreign currency account within Bank Islam or other bank must comply with the current requirement of the notice on foreign exchange administration rules and direction published by BNM. Okay, the next one is the physical foreign money notes and coin cannot be deposited. The customer debit or credit instruction for the FCAI must be sent to the branch where the FCAI is opened. And foreign currency changes to any chosen foreign currency must first be converted to ringgit Malaysia before being converted to the desired currency at Bank Islam current rate. And this Bank Islam maintains the right to accept checks, international inbound telegraphic transfer, and other monetary instrument for credit transaction with or without a passbook. Deposit can be made into the account, and inter-branch deposit are permitted subject to any applicable fees. And the checks and other monetary instrument will be accepted for credit transaction at Bank Islam discretion. And also the checks and other monetary instrument that have been deposited but afterward rejected must be recovered within the check validity period. And unpaid check will be kept for 7 years before being disposed, and a cash deposit must be accompanied by a cash deposit slip that provide a documentation of the customer cash placement. And Bank Islam then will send a copy of the cash deposit slip to the customer along with the transaction data. And only a cash deposit slip produced by Bank Islam computer or endorsed by a Bank Islam official is valid. And prior to like leaving Bank Islam facilities, the customer must confirm that all transactions are reflected in the cash deposit slip and that the detail of all transactions are verified. So the third deposit account for Bank Islam, I will pass to Kirtini. Thank you.
Thank you, Fatiha. So let me continue. The next Islamic deposit product is Qard Saving Account-i. The meaning of this product is Sharia concept that governs Islamic saving account and its facility to keep our money safe. And based on the Qard contract, this is a service that allows you to keep our money in secure place and withdraw whenever we need the money. And also some of the money paid or accepted of the purpose of deposit in accordance with Sharia. So in terms of sum of money deposit will be repaid or returned in full or without any gain or return. So the repayment will be on demand or in certain predetermined time. So next is it is protected by PIDM up to 250,000 for each deposit. So as of this contract, Qard it's a customer agreed to allow the bank to deal with all or a part of any account balance in any way it is suitable, and it's also given reward as to customer to any profit generated by a bank for their use of fund belongs to the bank. So next is opening of account. Bank Islam reserves the right to stipulate and varies from time to time, as the customer is also required to maintain a minimum balance specific by Bank Islam. So besides that, by signing the application form of opening an account or performing his or her biometric scanning at Bank Islam, so the customer hereby agreed to open his or her account on based on Qard's contract that allow a loan by customer to Bank Islam to make a subject to the term and condition as determined by Bank Islam. So based on this contract, Bank Islam is responsible to repay the money in a full upon demand, and other than that there is no limited on the amount of money. The next is eligibility. Individuals who are at least 18 years above are eligible to open their individual account or joint account, and there is no limited or maximum age for individual to open their own account. So the minimum amount is 100 ringgit to open this account. Those who are 12 years below, they can open their account with their parents or the guardians. Next is deposit. Deposit made in an account that with or without a passbook, and moreover the validity of check must be respected when collecting the dishonored check or other monetary instrument. So uncashed check is a big keep for a period of 7 years before it's disposed. So next is cash deposit. It must be accompanied by the cash deposit slip, which is regarded as a proof of customer cash placement. So Bank Islam will provide a copy of cash deposit slip to the customer to enclose the detail of transaction. The cash deposit slip is only valid if it's been printed by the Bank Islam computer, and customer must be ensured that the transaction made is reflected in cash deposit slip and verify the Bank Islam transaction. And next is benefit. The deposit benefit is given free saving passbook that's upon requested by customer, and they also given bank card facility, salary crediting, swapping facility, and standing instruction facility. And more than that, Hiba is given monthly basis based on the Bank Islam principle. And other facility the Bank Islam provided is such as bill payment, online banking, tab mobile banking, e-debit. The next is electronic banking facilities such as ATM, and it's mainly work as a cash withdrawal, fund transfer, statement requesting, utilize bill payment, zakat payment, tabung haji transaction, internet banking registration, pin number change, and other more. So besides that, tab mobile banking is usually innovative cheap technology that display a banking menu user mobile phone, and a screen most customers familiar with this. This is reducing the bother of remembering the password. And there are many services that provided in this tab mobile banking such as checking the balance requirement, fund transfer, top up prepaid, bill payment, and many more. So finally, e-debit is electronic fund transfer at the point of sales, which is service where consumer pay their purchase using this bank card and personal identifying number, and this purchase amount will be deducted directly from the saving account or the current account. So the next Bank Islam deposit product is Qard current account-i. So this Bank Islam offer this current account facility for safety protection of our money, and this facility also that enable you to wisely plan your monthly expenses and allow you to manage your financial needs without using any cash involvement. And also it's received the hiba every month, which is Islamic current account, and you will also given a free checkbook holder that along with automatic zakat payment. And the next is eligibility. The age requirement is open to all and 18 years above, and also Malaysian citizen and permanent resident only, and there's no limited to individual or joint individual. And the minimum initial deposit is 500 for individual account and 1000 for non-individual account. And the minimum balance is not minimum requirement in current account. And the next is benefit and the features that the Qard account provided is free checkbook holder, bank card facility for individual, joint account and private company account only. And they also give a credit, salary credit, swapping facility, standing instruction facility for payment of billing and other more. And besides that, hiba is given a monthly basis based on banks Islam's principle, and other facilities such as internet banking and tab mobile banking. And the next is fees and charge. First is requesting for statement, requesting for photocopy of check and pay in slip or advice, half nearly a yearly service charge for individual or other, early closure of a current account that within 3 months, uncollected checkbook in after 30 days issuing, requesting for numbers of the status of company account. So next is how current account-i works. So current account is also known as checking account that is not only allowed to keep our money safe in bank, but it's also given an opportunity to earn interest on our minimum amount monthly. And when we open our current account in Bank Islam, to ensure our money is managed in accordance with Sharia compliant, and not only that, but it's also take advantage of additional financial service like a discount and offer that available throughout the year. And next is what we got from this account. So similar to as a saving account opening, it will be issued with a ATM card and also act as debit card that can be used as replace of cash of transaction. So this current account will not completed without a complimentary cash book. And moreover, it make our life easier. We can access our online banking facility whenever we can make and various banking service such as bill payment, instant on interbanking, transferring, loan payment via standing instruction and so on. And those who are preferable old way fashion, there are many ways to make their transaction in Bank Islam in a ATM machine, such as withdraw the cash, zakat payment, tabung haji deposit, charity contribution, SMS banking transaction and so on. Next is why we should open this current account. So this current account help our monthly expenditures and financial needs in flexible method and ways. And Bank Islam have 7 type of current account we can open, such as individual account, joint account, partnership account, government account, associate, private company and company's account. And we can set up this current account as a salary crediting account to reap to the benefit of a high profit. Next is electronic banking facilities such as cash withdrawal, fund transfer, statement requesting, utilized balance and so on. And MEPS cash is actually e-personal application on our bank card, which will show specific amount of monetary value loaded from ATM account, and which can be used to make small purchase as well. MEPS is a cash of convenient method for making our daily routine life purchasing. That's all from me. Thank you. I would like to pass the floor to next presenter Lingesh.
Thank you, Kizini. So now I would like to talk about basic saving account. Basic saving account is specifically designed for the individual who have lower income and they can do save their money for their future benefit. And this type of account is usually used by the employee for the salary transaction purpose. And however, this product offered by the Bank Islam Malaysia Berhad underlying with Sharia principle. And also this type of account protected by PIDM to secure the deposit amount that deposit by the customers. Nonetheless, moving to the opening of account, this type of account can be very convenient for the customers to open because there will be a minimum transaction, minimum document that required by the bank, which is the identity card, and then you can, from the identity card, you can fill up the form that given by the bank in order to start your process of application. After you done, the customer done the process of done fill up all the forms, necessary forms that the bank required, and then they must be written. They have to fill whatever necessary information that the bank want, and then they have to sign the document as well. If let's say they fail to do that, means the bank won't proceed with the process of opening the account, and the application not be valid. And then the age limitation for this account is no age restriction. Everyone can open this account. If let's say the person is below the account holder is below want to open the account below 12 years old, means they have to be support and guided by the parents or guardians in order to open the account. And also 18 is same applicable for the 18 years below as well. And then the minimum deposit is required by the bank is 20 ringgit, and then the minimum balance that required by the bank as to customer to keep in the account is 20 ringgit as well. Fees and charges. So moving to we can see that most of now banks are usually will charge the annual fees, which is about 8 ringgit, and then they have some optional for the optional plan for the customer as well. If let's say when do the application, the bank officer will ask us you want to go for the annual fee or you want to go for non-annual fee charge. If let's say we choose non-annual fee charge, means we can use the account, but in a month we can use 8 times only. The transaction we can do is 8 times. If we extend, mean for the consequence transactions or withdrawals, the bank will charge to the customers. And also early termination of the account. If let's say the customers open the account on July and then want to close the account on October, means the bank will charge about 20 ringgit as a early termination fees. And also if let's say we withdraw the money by using the ATM machine in the Bank Islamic, there will be no charge. But then we use we go to somewhere else like a Petronas, or we going to the another bank which is nearby bank, which is CMB bank, when use your bank some card to withdraw, means the bank will charge about 1 ringgit. And then moving to the benefit and features for this particular account, which is we can do cash withdrawals, fund transfer, bill payment facilities, internet banking facilities. So internet banking is most of the popular trend nowadays for the banking industry, and also for the users as well. It's very convenient for them to transfer their money anywhere they are in, and there's no maintenance or service charge will be assessed through the account. And it's very convenient for the customers or the account holders to print their mini statement through the internet banking as well, or through the ATM machine as well. What is basic current account? Basic current account is a deposit account where you can pay by check, and this is a major difference between the saving account and current account. And also the customers consent to the bank's manipulation of any balances in the account in any way the bank deems appropriately. And then this type of account is protected by PIDM as well. If if let's say the customer deposit the money and then suddenly something happened to their account and then they lost the money, means the amount of the money that the customer deposited can get from the protection by the bank itself. And then the process of opening the current account is the bank requires a quite number of documents, which is firstly identity card copy, utility bill copy, cash flow, or if let's say the business for the business purposes, they will require the cash flow of the business, and also if let's say the business owner, they have to provide a business certificate as well. And all the documents must be signed and written by the customers in order to make it the process is smoother for the banker to open the account for the customers. And there is age limitation for this type of account. The individual who is 18 years old above only can open this type of account. This type of account can be opened as an individual or joint partnership account or SME account. And the minimum deposit required by the bank for the basic current account is 500, and there is no minimum balance is required. Even though there is no balance that required by the bank, but it is advisable for the customers to keep active their money and do some transactions to show the bank statement the flow of the cash in and out is in a better way or in a nicer way. And fees and charges for this particular account is the annual charges, which is 8 ringgit, and there is no annual fee But then if let's say the customer exceeds the 8 times transaction per month, means the consequent after the 8 times, the consequent transaction or withdrawals, the bank will charge 50 cents. And also there will be a stamp duty charge as well. This is the stamp duty for the purpose of provide the checkbook for the customers. And 10 ringgit is also a requirement or required by the bank for the account to the account holders. If let's say their account is below 10,000 ringgit, the balance of the account is below 10,000 ringgit, meaning to say that this particular account for the business owner, which is like earning per month is 2,000 above, and then they can keep the minimum balance at the account. And the early termination fee is also applicable for this type of account, which is about 20 ringgit. If you wish to close the account within 3-month period of opening, means the bank will charge 20 ringgit. And also the ATM mass withdrawal charges also that will be incurred for this type of account. Benefit and features for this account: we can do the cash withdrawal, fund transfer, bill payment, and also we don't have to pay. We don't have an internet banking facility, and also no maintenance or service charge will be accessed to this account. As for the comparison between Maybank Islamic and Bank Islam deposit products is Maybank, as we can see over the slide here, the Prosperous Now Account-i is one of the fixed deposit account with a Sharia framework, and also the minimum amount of deposit required by the bank Maybank Islamic is 10,000 ringgit, and this type of account, that is the withdrawal of the funds prematurely is not permitted, meaning to say that when we invest the money into this deposit, we deposit the money into this type of account, means we can't withdraw the money before the maturity date of the account. And then as for the Bank Islam, is term deposit tabarruk is a capital guarantee deposit account that allow you the flexibility of managing the funds, and the minimum deposit requirements for the this type of account is 1000 ringgit for 1 month or 500 ringgit for 2 months and above, and it is permissible to withdraw prematurely before the maturity of the account. Means the customer is allowed to withdraw, but the bank will not pay the profit for the customers. Moving to the master foreign currency account. Master foreign currency account is developed based on the Qard contract, and the minimum deposit is $1,000 ringgit and available in more than 10 major countries. As we can compare to foreign currency account that offered by Bank Islam Berhad as a deposit account was developed based on the basis of Buy al Sab. The minimum deposit of 1000 ringgit is required to open an account, and it is available more than 5 countries and less than 5 different countries and less than different currencies, and also less than 10 type of currencies. And moving to the saving account I. Saving account I is one of the account that that offered by the Bank Islam Berhad. As a minimum initial deposit for this account is for the customers to open this account is 250, but we compared to the Qard saving account that offered by Bank Islam Berhad, that will be 100 ringgit is a minimum or initial deposit that the bank required for the customers to open an account. So these are the comparison that we can differentiate that how the two different Islamic banks operate the deposit product. Now I would like to pass the floor to Amar.
All right, thank you so much, Lingesh. Hello again, everyone. And now let's continue on the comparison between Maybank Islamic and Bank Islam about the deposits account. Now, first, let's take a look at the Maybank Islamic Berhad current account I. So for Maybank Islamic Berhad, they have a requirement of minimum deposit, which is amounted to 1,000 ringgit. However, in the Bank Islam Berhad Qard current account I, their minimum initial deposit must be 100 ringgit, and the minimum of 10 ringgit balance is required. And then moving on, for the Maybank Islamic Berhad basic savings account I. So there are no annual charges imposed to the depositors. And then another good thing is hibah will be given to depositors. Now, however, for Bank Islam Berhad basic saving account I, there are annual charges imposed for the depositors, which is 8 ringgit. And then another difference is there are no hibah given for the depositors. And then next is commodity Murabahah from Maybank Islamic Berhad. Their required initial deposit, it must be 50,000 ringgit minimum. However, for the basic current account I for Bank Islam Berhad, the balance minimum must be 10 ringgit and it should be below 1,000 ringgit. And then that will be all for me. I want to pass the stage to Fatihah.
In conclusion, all deposit products offered by Bank Islam and Maybank Islamic are based on Qard and Tawarruk arrangement using the contract of Murabahah, and term deposit that use the Mudarabah contract are no longer classified as deposit account as of July 15 or the 2 years following the enactment of IFSA 2013. So the product is classified under investment account. So next, all the deposit account in Maybank Islamic and Bank Islam are the same. They are using the contract of Qard and Tawarruk arrangement, also known as commodity Murabahah. But what make them different are the features and the name of the product. That is all from us. Thank you very much.